Hey Virgo, come on in. Happy holidays, whichever holidays that you like to celebrate. I did a little decorating. I hope that you like it a little bit. Miss you, haven't talked to you in a long time. Virgo, you in your reading are, wow, totally looking at all of your relationships and checking your list. What is that? Checking the list. And who's naughty or nice, and you are checking them off. So we'll we'll go into it. So stay tuned. We're gonna talk all about it. Hey Virgo, good to have you back. I feel like I haven't. I feel like I miss you. Out of all the signs, I feel like I haven't talked to Virgo in quite a while. I hope you're doing good. So we're going to jump right to your reading here. If you notice, I made it in the shuffle part, I'm making it so that I shuffling but fast forwarding that to get to the core stuff. So in the comments, if you want to let me know whether you like that or not, like if you want me to spend more time with the shuffling and talking, or get right to the reading. I personally would rather get right to the reading, and I would think Virgo would too, knowing Virgo. But anyway, let's get right now to the core with reading. Now, your reading is fascinating because it is talking about all of your relationships. Like, your relationships are what's on your mind, what you're considering, what you're thinking about, all around you. It's fascinating. So, where do we start? We start in the middle. It's just like your whole being. There's a part of you that is almost like maturing, and you're kind of reassessing your unions and your whether it be your friendship unions, your work unions, and who you like working with or grouping with as friends, because some of them you're feeling very clear on. Like there's ones in the middle here with that you're liking to move forward with and not. And one thing that's on your mind is almost like a level of maturity. And some people, like, their level of maturity is not what you kind of like need it to be now. Like there's something about you that's kind of changed or matured, and some things aren't jiving with other people, and you almost don't, like with one person you almost don't really trust them so much. It's fascinating. So it is an overall view. Like there's one down at the baseline, like there's kind of like your love relationships or the partnership relationships. There's levels of like bickering or arguing about stuff that seems to be pretty constant or consistent, and it's too much. It's just like you've really been thinking about it, and you just don't want to do that sort of energy anymore. So any of your main sort of partnerships that are at a mature level, like they really need not to be argumentative. You're really done with the bickering or arguing, or like sometimes when you have certain people where it just always seems like they're taking the like I don't know, not necessarily the opposite side of what you're saying, but there's always just like some contention. I mean, you know how you have some friendships or some things where you could talk about anything and you could totally disagree and laugh, and it's just free flowing. There's no like pressure and resistance. And then there's these others that you're noticing that have pressure and resistance. You're like, look, it's too much. I don't want to do that. So you're really reconsidering a lot of a lot of your relationships because you are focused. Now this is funny, and this is what it said. So you're very focused on the actions and getting rid of the people, or even in your mindset of caring what the bleep people think about you. I would curse, but I don't want to do that here. And I mean, if we were just talking casually one-on-one, or I was on the phone with you, but you don't give a about what they think. I mean, you're really focused on not caring about whether someone approved of you or not, or opinions that they had and things that you held on to, and you're like, I don't want to care about that anymore. I just don't. It's not my problem. I don't care about that. So fascinating. Also, there's something in the past that somebody was coming forward that had sort of a pobrecito, kind of like martyr, or poor me. And there's a gentleman that's just kind of listening into this, kind of like a team captain player type male energetic that is listening. But have you ever seen someone who, like, they're listening but they're not replying? Because they are like listening and they don't want to be cruel to you, but they don't really care. Like, just because it's just like, I know you're whining, and what you're whining about is technically true, but like, it's just whining, and it's not going to get any, like, it's like, what's that going to accomplish? There's not a lot of for some reason, there's not a lot of empathy for these particular person or people that are kind of like whining. And that's what it would be, like a whining. And you know how it is. Sometimes, we can all whine about certain things, and does it really do us any good? I mean, sometimes, but not really. I mean, even though they do say squeaky wheel gets the oil, I guess it depends on how you squeak and who you're squeaking to. But Mr. No Squeak to me was there and just like wasn't really feeling it. Wasn't really feeling like the whining that was coming forward. And here's something that the cards want to say is that moving into the forward. Now, don't worry, because it says that you've got it handled. Either you've got it handled, or someone of a very strategic, quick thinking, straightforward. But that's Virgo mind. Like, Virgo can be very focused. I love the way you guys think. Love working with you guys. So something's going to happen that is a surprise and kind of knocks you off balance, and it's kind of like a SHIT moment, like, I got to take care of something. You've got the Tower card coming up, and it's going to be a surprise. You can't plan for it. But when it comes up, you're going to be like, oh, here it is. Okay, let me handle this. Let me do this. I don't want to say it's going to be an accident or this, or anything like that. But it's, like, it's something that happens that you can't plan for, and then all of a sudden, bam, and you got to handle it. So that's coming up in, like, the next 2 weeks. Don't get over concerned, because it does look like you're going to just know exactly what to do. Either you do, or someone right next to you right in the moment is like, this is what we do, this is how we handle it, very, like, and sometimes in life, I mean, that's the way things have to happen, so then we can either, like, fix them, change them, clean them up, what have you. Okay, now it says moving into the future once again. You have majorly got the Hangman, you've got the Knight of Pentacles, like, you are going deep into thought about all of the things that you've done, that you've put into your fields, the seeds that you've planted, the things that you've created, the things that have come. Like, you're really, really deep into thinking of the past and really reflecting on all up to this point, and especially in the theme of your relationships. You're like taking inventory and kind of reflecting at the same time, good and bad, like all of it. And you're doing it quite calmly. You have a very mature feel to you on this reading, which is fascinating. And moving forward, you've got a little bit of edgy energy. You want to move forward, but it's like, can't quite get the victory that I want to get. Well, maybe some of the team players and everything, you're going to be switching up, because you realize, whether it be their attitude or that's, things have got to, like, switch in more, but it's more mature thinking, and that happens. Nothing wrong with it. And this isn't aggressive energy, but it's on. It's definitely on. It does say that you also realize you're very grounded, and you're very, earth ground with the Queen of Pentacles, and, nurturing, but you're not going to be, once again, you're not going to be into the bickering or the fighting or the whatever. You're done with that. You're done with that. Anybody who's doing any of that or wants to just argue about something, you're not going to have it. You're just not. You're going to be actually very powerful with the moment when they realize you're not going to participate in that. You're just not. It's fascinating. Okay, so, and then moving forward, it does say that there's a level of something or something in your life, and we're dealing with relationships, so I would say it probably has to do with more so like a relationship that you at one time were really attached to, and it's not. Like, you're so being able to say, like, I was even kind of like addicted to you, or whether it be the relationship, the friendship, like, but not anymore. It's not satisfying. You're not totally knowing what is going to be satisfying, but you're getting very clear on what's not satisfying for you. And that's okay. That's all right. Then we'll get into the energies of manifesting. Well, what would it look like? What type of energy do I want? What type of enthusiasm or attitude or person or friends or this do I, moving forward in the most optimal level would I like to see and be, and something that's going to match this new level of almost like maturity and progression that you're doing. What's going to match me? And you're seeing certain things or certain people is not really matching you, and like you're like, okay, and that's what you're doing right now, and it looks like you're still going to be doing it calmly, and then maybe after this reading you'll get into the fantasy work and the inspiration work of, okay, so what is the all the new stuff going to look like? So give me just a moment, I'll come right back with the wrap up. Just a quick reminder to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. This will give you a feel for which energetic you're possibly experiencing right now. And if you would like a detailed personal reading, you can book a reading at ctgtarot.com. And thank you for subscribing and clicking the like button. The kitties and I are very grateful. Well, I just realized that whole, when I was going through the core reading for you, I didn't have that little square up to show all the cards for you. I do apologize for that. Well, let's go into the wrap up now. The main thing, of course, they do want you to know about like the Tower card here that's coming up in the next couple weeks. That's something's going to be surprising. That's going to make you have to handle something. Something kind of goes kaboom, or a scenario where it's a not necessarily like an accident, but something happens where you have to take care of it. But you are going to handle it just fine, or someone right next to you is going to handle it just fine. The whole reading was basically, other than that, was all about your relationships. Was all about you not wanting to give a bleep about what people think of you anymore, their opinion of you anymore. It's not important, because there's a changing of a guard that's happening with your relationships. Like, you're very in high consideration of what's working and what's flowing with you, with all, and with your new projects and new stuff and new things within you, between your work or friendships or love, like all of it. You're thinking about all of them, and you are not into arguing. You are not into any level of arguing right now, but you're handling it really maturely. You've got a natural mothering type of nurturing, grounded energy that's still just like not going to play. If there's arguing going on, it's not going to happen. Also down here in your baseline, there's a level of, if there are close relationships you do not handle, and you decided that you're not going to do with your close relationships, you don't bicker and argue. Those people don't get into your inner core group, because it's just too much. It's overwhelming, and it taxes your mind, and it's taking your energy. Same thing of you allowing yourself to overthink about what people think of you and giving a bleep about it, which you're just decided you're not going to do anymore. You're going to go into deep meditation with your Hangman here and your Knight of Pentacles reversed. Like, woo! I mean, taking time to think about the seeds that you've put into play. that all the things that have developed, and like you have a field that you grew, and what things grew, what things didn't, with within the friendships, what that looks like really looking back. It's just like having a past life reflection, really at a deep, deep level, and it's still going to be really reflective on your relationships, those, because you're taking inventory right now and moving forward. And there's definitely some that you even felt really attached to, and like you were really bonded with and almost addicted to, and saw them all the time, and it's just not, some of them aren't going to be satisfying for you anymore, like and then there's others you're going to be very clear with. Yeah, they're great, totally enjoy this one over here I don't trust as much anymore. I don't feel like I can't trust that person. So this is like with a big theme about you right now, but it's done on a really mature level. It's just there's something about you that's moving up to a next level, and you're really trying to honestly figure out who, inspiring wise, you want to move up with you and what that looks like. It definitely doesn't involve people arguing, bickering, or always in contention, or like even like sometimes when you have certain friends, which I don't call friends, that are like competing with you in some way, right? You know what I'm talking about? So that's within like the wrap up of the energetic. And do look at the December astrology. It goes through the whole month of December and all the energetics of people, and why, like Mars and alliances and all the new choosing of that and the energies, and it goes in deeply, so that might be very helpful too. But this is like the stage that you're at. We'll see where you're going to be in like the next 2 weeks. But you're like really making some decisions on who's going to go into your next book. You know how like you write a book and you kind of complete it, and then which characters are going to go into your new book? You're going to continue. Which are you just kind of done with? You enjoyed, you're thankful for having, having those characters in that last book, but they're not coming into your new book. So anyway, you go, Virgo. That's your reading, and we'll talk in the next couple weeks. All right, take it easy. Mush mush.